it's Sandy. Let's go to Babes Ride Out Central Coast 2024. Let's go! All right, first day. This was a 5-day trip for me. I was going to leave on Thursday, head out to, my original plan was to head to Big Bear Lake, California. There were some really cool little windy roads up there coming up and down the mountain, and then I was going to meet up with some girls from the LA area, and we were going to ride up the coastline to Santa Barbara, where the event was being held. My trip's all planned out, had my gear all packed, had my list checked off. And about a week before the trip, I started looking back at my routes, thank goodness for this, and I did not know that there was a massive wildfire going on out there. It had closed down the two of the route options that I had coming down off the mountain, and so I ended up having to scrap that idea. Thankfully, a really good friend of mine that I met at the very first Babes event that I've ever gone to out in Borrego, she offered to let me stay with her in San Gabriel. So Thursday morning, I headed out. I did about roughly 384 miles on the first day, with stops and traffic once I got kind of near LA-ish area. It took me about 7 hours. It was a little brutal for me considering that I'm not a long distance rider at all. And I'm on a Streetfighter with zero wind protection. So it's not the most comfortable bike for touring on, but he did all right. We both did all right. We managed. First stop I had was stopping at this awesome place, I think it was in Quartzsite, called the Freedom Garden. And it had some really neat, awesome like planes there that I wanted to get out and walk around. And as soon as I stepped off the bike, I pulled something in my calf muscle, like bing, like it hurt so bad. I have no idea what I did. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to really walk around the plains that much. It was pretty much just kind of limping around a little bit. So not a great way to start my long physical trip. Next stop, Vidal, California. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a little ghost townish type of thing. I wanted to stop there because Wyatt Earp's cabin is there. So I didn't go down to it, but I did pull off on the side across the road, and there was like some really cool old like buildings there that again I really wanted to walk into and around, and I physically was in pain. I could not. And then I really wanted to walk across the street to go see the cabin, and I couldn't. So I think that was a sign to just keep moving, and you know what? It's all right. Can always go back. So we continued on down the road, ended up going to Rice, what's called the Rice Shoe Tree. Started throwing their shoes up onto this old gas station. So lots of cool stops, really enjoyed just kind of being out there by myself, not having to really rush. Friday morning, we had the plans to ride over to the coastline through Malibu and then go up the coastline to Santa Barbara. Friday was only about I think 140 to 150 miles. Should have been about a 4 to 5 hour ride, I think is what it ended up being. Lots of traffic, of course. It's Friday, it's LA. I've never lane splitted before. So my comfort for doing that and just not knowing the etiquette, yeah, I had nothing. So the girls were very patient, and we sat in traffic for a while until all of our clutch hands were pretty cramped up, just creeping along. And you know, my one friend and I, we were on our intercoms, so she finally kind of persuaded me to go ahead and we baby stepped into it. She like taught me how to lane split, and that, yeah, it was a lifesaver. It did save us so much time. So Saturday we did a ride out to Ojai. I had planned the route prior to the trip because I really wanted to go up this Highway 33. It looked really, really cool. I had no idea there was construction all up and down it. I couldn't see it on the map originally, so I'm not sure why I missed it. But Ojai was about 170 mile round trip, and was only supposed to be about 4 hours total, roughly. And with the construction and stops, I think we were out for about 6 hours. It was like a really long day. And then when we got back down, we were planning on stopping at the Deer Lodge. I think it was recommended by the Babes Ride Out organizers, and unfortunately it was closed for a private event. We ended up going over to the most adorable and awesome little pizza joint called Papa Linen's. I freaking loved it. It was so cute. It was so perfect. It wasn't busy. There was like the cutest courtyard out back. I would love a place like that near me. I would be there all the time just to chill out and hang out outside. Even with the construction, going up the Highway 33 was amazing. The sights were just so beautiful, and the road was fantastic. Like, it was exactly what I needed coming from my area in Arizona, where it's just flat and straight. Like, I really needed those turns and those curves. It was fantastic, and the bike loved it. It was great. It was good. You should do it. And then Sunday, packing up and going home. 366 miles. It was a long ride. I knew it would be. It was kind of a race to beat the heat. Like, I was going to Needles, California to stay the night. And I knew that it was going to be supposedly right around 100 or more there. And I wouldn't be getting there till the afternoon, which I knew I was going to be riding through some heat. The girls were really sweet. We basically stopped and all had breakfast together in Santa Clarita, and then we parted our ways. Getting on Route 66, though, was like, oh my goodness, I'm on Route 66! I was so just like smiling in my helmet. I was so excited. There was like no one around, and I was just out there by myself. I loved it. Loved it. I don't care like how achy I was and hurty. Oh yeah, and I'd gotten a bee sting that morning in my wrist, and it just didn't matter. I just loved it. Got to see the crater, which was, oh my goodness, it blew my mind. It was so cool. Definitely have to go back to that. I want to go hike into that sucker. So other than that, Route 66 was a highlight of Sunday, and that was about it. The rest was pretty much just straight highway type riding, traffic, sitting like a sail on the freeway. It was the most physically exhausting day for me. And then Monday, my final day, 239 miles. I did my final fuel up in Wickenburg. Got on Ultramine. Like my second wind kind of came in out of nowhere. I kind of felt pretty good on that part. I knew I was almost home. Again, I was gleaming in my helmet. I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. It made me realize, like, I really enjoy touring around. Like, I really enjoyed, like, seeing all these new sights and new landscapes and new roads, new little cities and towns. It opened up my eyes to a whole new chapter that I really want to go and explore more of. So we'll see where that goes. I had a blast. I am yearning to get back out. Like, I just cannot wait to figure out my next trip. Where do I want to go? Anyway, hopefully I'll see you on the road. Bye.